Hello, guys. Today we're going to talk about what is spirituality in general, and we're going to talk about also um, what is spirituality, but also we're going to look at some other things around spirituality. And the first thing that I'd like to say is spirituality is everything. You cannot experience anything outside of spirituality. Everything that you experience is spiritual because of course, it's all subjective from my point of view, but because all experiences are trying to show you something, they're trying to point somewhere. And you could postulate that, you could think that every experience shows you in one direction, and the direction is kind of self love. And what self love is, first of all, understanding the self, knowing what the self is. And the second, understanding what love is. And if you understand both of them, you can marinate in the self love, and that in itself is self sufficient. And as you let go of previous conceived conditioning, you are basically seeing more and more and more of what you've previously not seen. Because if somebody tells you the whole world is the stone, the whole world is the stone, and you believe that to be true, then you don't see anything else. And as you let go of everything, you will start to see everything. You will start to see more and more and more and more and more. So you could say that spirituality is the letting go of previously conceived conditioning and traumas, however long they might be come before that, whether it be, through ancestry or something like that, or previous incarnations, into understanding what is self and what is love, and just marinate in it without projecting anything onto what you're experiencing now or in the future. That I see as spirituality, because otherwise you could just leave everything and just be okay, fuck it. But we do have an innate wish to experience self and to experience love. And when we combine this as self love and marinate in it, we experience the truth of what we are actually seeking. So it's actually spirituality comes from the sense of longing to experience the self-love. And some people need a long time to understand it. Other people understand it very quickly. And self-love has never to do with others. It's not compassion that's self-love. Self-love is literally first realizing what the self is and what love is. And that by being compassionate to your experience, you're not really practicing self-love. You're practicing a kind of like, I don't know the English word. It's kind of like when you do something because you don't want to do something else. Um, that's what a lot of people. So you shouldn't be. You could almost say you shouldn't be practicing compassion before you experience self-love. And this is actually what Mooji suggests that, because people ask him, well, if you're so, enlightened or awakened, why don't you constantly, do this and that for the world, like Mother Teresa or something like that? And he said, because it comes in different forms, and an awakening or enlightenment is the biggest gift you can give to someone else. And this is also what Ramana said, by the way. And so I think um leaving all preconceived notions of what spirituality is, just learn to let go more and more and more and more until you're empty enough to have a wider perspective and see what self-love is, what the self is, and what love is. And I think a lot of people in spirituality that are seeking are actually seeking that, but get blinded by gurus or teachers who don't openly show you the self-empowered way of self-love. And a cult cannot give you self-love. It can give you a safe haven, a safe place, or a perceived safe place from outside influences. If they were toxic for you, for example, you've been raised in a toxic family, so you go in a cult and you feel kind of safe there in comparison. But it doesn't really teach you self-love. For self-love, you don't need anything else except your own inquiry to what is the self and what is love. And if you feel alone or sad because you're alone, then you have not yet realized the self and not realized yet what is love.